We do not care.
To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture.
Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
What is good, Steelers Nation? It is once again rivalry week. It is AFC North football week. This week we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Ohio, to Cleveland, unfortunately, to face the Cleveland Browns. This is part 2 of the matchups for this year, for the 2023 NFL season when it comes to the Steelers versus Browns. Obviously, week 2, we faced off on Monday Night Football. It was an ugly, atrocious game.
Yeah, but the Steelers managed to win. Big thanks to the defense scoring 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah, who remembers that? And I feel like we're going to need that same exact effect for this upcoming matchup.
Yeah, we're going to need something similar from the defense.
We're going to need something positive again to come out with a victory against the Cleveland Browns, cuz although I would love nothing more to sweep the Cleveland Browns, I mean, it is AFC North football. Anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. The Browns are coming off a win where they beat the Baltimore Ravens, a hot Baltimore Ravens team.
Oh, they made a huge comeback.
Huge comeback. So anything is possible when it comes to AFC North football. It can literally go any way. And I feel like it's more evident now than it's ever been in that division. For years, the Browns hilariously were at the bottom of AFC North, man. You just knew they were going to be the worst team, not only in the division, but in all of football.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are unfortunately gone for the Cleveland Browns. So now the division is completely up in the air.
Now, the whole division, I mean, every team has a winning record and have a huge shot at the moment, currently, to be in the AFC playoff picture.
And not only are the Steelers and Browns facing off, but to kick off Week 11 for Thursday Night Football, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals.
So it's a big week for AFC North.
Yes, because the division is very close. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to come down to the wire. Every game matters now.
Yeah, it is for sure the most must-watch and anticipated division in all of NFL.
Easily the most competitive and undoubtedly the best in the NFL right now. The records show that. The competitive shows that. And history just shows that. I mean, look at all 4 of these teams. Think of them how you want, but it speaks for itself. Like, this is exciting football right now. And this matchup against the Browns is very important for the division wise, just so that we can keep on stacking wins any way possible. And any loss that any team starts to take is going to be very damaging going down what is going to be a long stretch for the second half of this season, man, as we advance closer into November and December and eventually January football. So this is going to be a very important matchup, not just for the Thursday night game, but especially for our Pittsburgh Steelers facing the Cleveland Browns. Before we get into that, we got to talk about some news that unfortunately broke after the matchup on Sunday from the Steelers versus the
Packers.
Unfortunately, because we lost Cole Holcomb during the Titans game, unfortunately, and on back-to-back weeks, the Steelers have lost 2 of their starting linebackers. We lost Cole Holcomb for the rest of the year during the Titans game, and this past week versus the Packers, we lost Quan Alexander for the year due to an Achilles injury.
Yeah, but a full-blown torn Achilles.
That's absolutely terrible.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate to hear. It's very sad for Alexander, who was looking to have a career resurgence in Pittsburgh. And just the linebacker room in general was just completely revamped this entire offseason. Much needed, and it was shown on the field, man. It was fun to watch, actually. It was one of the better linebacker years that we've had in a long time. And unfortunately, 2 of the main guys we brought in to change that entire room are now done for the year.
Yeah.
Our 2 main starters are out for the rest of the season. Quan Alexander was just placed on IR earlier today. So that frees up a roster spot. You got to wonder what they're going to do at the linebacker room or what they're going to do to fill those roster spots. I mean, Freiermuth is on his way back shortly, so he should be coming back from IR. He'll fill in the roster spot. But they also cut Brandon Fioku after the Packers game. So that also adds a roster spot. So what other moves could they be making to potentially fill a damaged linebacking core for the remainder of the season?
Yeah.
And, we like Atlanta Roberts. We really like Mark Robinson, and we're very excited for his opportunity. And Atlanta Roberts has been outstanding this year, especially in the run support. Easily our best run supporting linebacker, our best run defending linebacker we've had in years since Vince Williams.
Yeah, he's very, he's very Vince Williams-esque when it comes to that. Very physical. He's a good blitzer, great run defender. His coverage, that's definitely not his forte. Unfortunately, with the injuries, he's going to have to do more of that, which is a big negative.
And it's not just for Roberts, but for Mark Robinson. Like, this is a big test now for Mark Robinson. In the second year,
this is a big opportunity, and we all want to see the talent and the upside and the opportunity for Mark Robinson. And unfortunately, it has to come to the cause of Holcomb and Alexander being hurt and out for the year. But there's no better chance for him to really shine or showcase his talents.
Exactly. So, yes, it's unfortunate that, we finally get to see Mark Robinson because of these circumstances, but he was buried under a stacked linebacking core because of the additions we made, the 3 new additions we made in Holcomb, Alexander, and Roberts, right? But now he's going to get that opportunity for the remainder of the year. Tomlin confirmed that Atlanta Roberts and Mark Robinson will be our starting linebackers for the remainder of the year. And he did kind of confirm that there's not going to be any outside additions to boost that room. In fact, they're probably going to elevate some of our practice squad guys, which is Michael Walker and Tyreek Carpenter.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect anything drastic when it comes to the linebacker room. And it really sucks that these linebacker injuries happened after the trade deadline. Because now
it could not come at a much worse time for the Steelers.
Exactly. It's the most important time of the year right now. The deadline's gone. There's no bye to rest anything. And even if you look at the free agent tracker, if you look at the free agent mark, there is nobody. It is bone dry. So we are stuck with Atlanta Roberts, Mark Robinson, Michael Walker, and Tyreek Carpenter for the rest of the season at our linebacker room. So what was our best linebacker room in years is now very thin, very worrisome. Like we said, we like Roberts, we like Robinson. I think they're going to do pretty solid for the remainder of the year. But those 2 being your starting linebackers for the remainder of the year just isn't ideal. Because now Roberts, like you said, is going to be a 3-down linebacker. And he's going to have to be in coverage most of the time, which is just Vince Williams and Lawrence Timmons all over again.
Yeah.
It's a scheming nightmare for the Steelers defense. Opposing offenses are going to look at that, and absolutely take that chance 9 times out of 10. That'll be a mismatch. That's very worrisome.
Yeah.
Robertson coverage is a no-brainer. Not at all. Him in the run support, one of the best in the league. But now he's going to be a 3-down linebacker. So will Mark Robinson, and Mark Robinson is undersized for his position. Although so was Devin Bush, and he was drafted in the first round. You see Mark Robinson's already farther than Bush ever went, right? But he's still raw. He is still undersized. That is still a concern. And now we trust him in the run support, but we still don't know much of him in coverage either. So
exactly,
we truly don't have a coverage linebacker unless you want to put Keanu Neal down there in some rotations and some sub packages. You could do that. That could make up for the lack of a coverage linebacker.
That's something that I could absolutely see the Steelers doing, especially whenever Minka does come back. His availability will determine, how he does in practice. So I don't know when Minka's going to come back. Could be for this game. It could be for next week against Cincinnati. Whenever Minka comes back, I would like to think that they do that with Neal, since he has prior history of linebacker reps back in Dallas.
Yeah, that is a pretty solid insurance policy for our linebacking core.
But even then, they could still continue the rotations at inside linebacker back when Holcomb and Roberts or Alexander were healthy and playing.
Yeah.
They could do that with the likes of more so a Michael Walker, who I've looked into him and I've seen a bit of his footage. He's a former 4th-round pick out of 2020 by Atlanta. He was there for a couple years, and last year I think he started almost every game. And he was, when you look at his stats, he was pretty productive. When you see the film, he looks like a solid contributor on defense.
So when you anticipate any linebacker rotations, he's probably going to be the guy that's going to get his name called mostly.
Yeah, because Tariq Carpenter, he just seems more like a special teams ace, which that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. But as far as the rotations go, you're probably looking more so for Walker in that aspect.
Yes. So get used to those names. Get used to Landon Roberts. Get used to Mark Robinson. Get used to Michael Walker, most importantly.
Just get used to a whole different inside linebacker core for the remainder of the year.
And you can have optimism on those guys to step up, and I think they will do decent for the remainder of the year, but it's still incredibly worrisome. Our linebacker room is once again thin.
It's just very unknown.
It's unknown. Yes, you're right, but I don't think it's going to end well. Because our defense is still very questionable in a lot of aspects. And now that our linebacking core just took a massive hit in 2 straight weeks, it might not get any better. This might be very similar to when Shazier went down. Truthfully.
Yeah.
And it seems like ever since Shazier went down, I hate to bring it up, but yes, we've been struggling at linebacker. And we can't catch a break. With injuries, with depth. It's just every year we suffer badly at that position. And the one time we weren't, it has to come until after the bye for it to happen. To Holcomb and to Alexander. So, obviously, we hope those guys have a very successful, speedy, and healthy recovery. And hopefully we get to see those guys next year for sure.
Yeah, big time.
I think Alexander is worth bringing back on another 1-year flyer and have him rotate because he was very good. And so was Holcomb. And unfortunately, they're both gone. So, again, Landon Roberts and Mark Robinson are the next men up, and they're gonna have to step it up for sure.
Yeah, whether the play style is similar, it's unknown. We're just gonna have to wait and see how they play against the Cleveland Browns.
Right. It's unknown. It's more obvious for like a Landon Roberts. You already know what to expect from him. But with Mark Robinson, it's more of okay. He's in his second year. Let's see what he can bring to the table with his speed and his range and his physicality. He plays like a Steelers linebacker, right? So let's see what more he's grown throughout the next couple of years. So this is going to be a big opportunity. And he'll be one of those guys that we're going to look closely and see how much growth he's gotten. So that's going to be the excitement of it. It's still worrisome, but that's going to be the excitement with Mark Robinson. So we're looking forward to that.
But at the end of the day, next man up.
Next man up, absolutely. So the linebacker room takes a hit, but we'll see what these guys can bring to the table, man. Again, we might see Keanu Neal in there and some rotations as that linebacker piece. And coverage and in passing downs just to make up for it. That's their insurance policy, but we'll see where they operate there. Otherwise, Minka Fitzpatrick has a 50-50 chance of coming back, which could absolutely be needed for the secondary. I mean, he was missed last week for sure. Now, granted, when Minka was in the defense, the secondary was still allowing massive yardage and chunk plays and big yardage and big touchdowns and just ridiculousness all over the field. But Minka is absolutely missed.
Yeah.
He's been out the last 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. He hasn't even practiced in practice yet. Now, that could change this week. So we're hoping that's the case. And if that is, then there is a good chance he could be coming back for this game, which is going to be much needed for sure.
Yep.
And unfortunately, going back onto the linebacking discussion, with Minka coming back, it seems like he's been our 5th linebacker all year.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be prone to playing linebacker the remainder of the year now because of the injuries at linebacker. So all the hope we might have of let's put Minka back in his natural position, let Minka make Minka plays, it seems like now they're really going to depend on him in the box more so now than ever before because of the injuries.
Yeah, it already seems like it's a similar season to what he had in 2021.
Very similar.
When he led the team in tackles with, I think he actually had over 130.
Yeah, he led the team in tackles for a fucking free safety.
Yeah.
He is absolutely misused. Now, don't get it twisted. He's doing his job perfectly. Minka will do anything you ask him to do and do it at an elite level. He's an elite safety.
He's doing a great job at what he's being asked to do.
But he's just being used improperly in this scheme.
He shouldn't have to do it.
No, but now he's going to have to because of the linebacker injuries, unfortunately. So when Minka comes back, anticipate him to be in the box a little more often than he should be. And he was already in the box too much before the injuries. So I suppose we got to anticipate and get used to that and hope the other safeties can make plays. But otherwise, I guess that's going to be our solution for linebacker. But with that being said, I mean, the defense is still going to take a hit. The defense is still, and now the linebacking core took a hit. It's just, on paper, it doesn't look pretty. It does not look pretty because we've seen when the linebacker room takes a hit, it worsens the defense, and that's my fear now. And we can't have we already depend too much on the defense. So with it potentially getting worse now because of these injuries. It might get the season. It does not look favorable right now, especially against a Cleveland Browns team that is. They can't get much done offensively, but they are 6-3.
Well, that's more so. I would say that's more so due to the result of their passing offense,
right?
And obviously, the man that's being the head of the table there is John Watson, and let's just say he hasn't really lived up to the $230 million fully guaranteed money.
Not even close.
And listen, I'm not going to underestimate Deshaun Watson one bit. He's still got hella targets. Amari Cooper's on pace for another 1,000-yard season. He's obviously got Elijah Moore, David Njoku, Cedric Tillman, their first draft selection, 3rd-round pick. He's got targets, and he's got a capable offensive line. But Deshaun Watson is not playing good.
He's garbage. Honestly, I don't know who's worse this year. Is it Kenny or is it Watson? The only difference is one has fully guaranteed money. The other's a first-round quarterback in his rookie contract.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is between them. I don't know who's worse. I don't. It's actually it's hilarious that the Browns got rid of so much. They sacrificed a lot. They damn near sold their soul to the devil for this guy. After everything that went down. Steelers fans can't talk. But after everything that went down, and Watson used to be an incredible quarterback.
Yeah, but he's not living up to it. I feel like that time away from football, that year and a half away from football, that definitely left an impact on his playing career.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. And he still hasn't recovered. He's been a turnover machine. He's just I think he's limiting that Browns offense a little bit. Actually, we've seen when he's been and plus he's been hurt.
As a matter of fact, it's funny you say that because after the comeback against the Ravens, he was seen wearing a boot after his post-game press conference, although he stated that he's fine and he should be fine to go for Sunday.
Yeah, I heard he was getting an MRI, and he did confirm he should be fine to go.
But that's the issue with Deshaun Watson this year.
Yeah, because if it's not him being a bad quarterback on the field, it's him being hurt, and they have to play P.J. Walker or Dorian Thompson-Robinson,
And even then, they can't really play that great.
And obviously, the Browns are without Nick Chubb because of the injury he suffered in Week 2 versus our Pittsburgh Steelers. An unfortunate injury. Hope he's doing well.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he actually just had second successful surgery today.
Ooh, well, I'm glad to hear he's doing okay.
Yeah,
that was something scary to watch during that game. And let's be honest, man, if he never went down, I would wonder what the end result would be for Week 2 because we could not stop Chubb at all in that first quarter.
No.
He was running all over us. And now they have Jerome Ford, who's been very, very good for them.
Yeah.
And they brought back Kareem Hunt. He's been that goal line piece. He's been getting in the end zone, getting them some points. They're starting to get their groove going. And when you look at these two teams, man, and I never thought I would say this about my Pittsburgh Steelers, but when you look at these two teams, they are very similar.
They're virtually identical because they're 6-3. Both teams struggle to pass the football, and they heavily rely on their running attack and their defense.
Yes.
We're pretty much identical. And that's crazy to say.
Yeah, I hate to compare myself to the Browns, but yes, I mean, that's kind of what it's like right now.
But their rushing attack, that's really the big thing about their offense and their production. As a matter of fact, even without Nick Chubb, they are the number 2 ranked rushing offense.
Really?
Yes. Even with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt, they are still effective at running the football.
Interesting.
So, and you know how our rush defense is. Hasn't really been too stellar, hasn't been too good, and we lost Quan and we lost Cole. And inside linebacker.
Yeah, that's a major concern.
Big concern.
So when it comes to this game, obviously we're going to have to rely on the defense because there's not much to be excited about when it comes to our offense. And we're facing a Browns defense that is the number 1 in the league right now. They are legit. They are very good. They've had their hiccups throughout the year, but they are very good. They have all the tools on that defense, for sure. And when you look back at that Week 2 match, obviously there was only one good play during that game when it came to the Steelers offense, which was George Pickens' long touchdown. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Everything else was terrible. It was one of the worst games they've had all year. They couldn't get a ground game going. Kenny was... honestly, there's no difference with Kenny now from Week 2, and we're how many weeks away from that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no difference from Kenny. In fact, the only improvement I've seen from that game to where we see the Steelers now, where we stand now with our offense, is the O-line's doing a little better, and the rushing offense is coming off 2 of their best games all year.
Much more improved.
Doing just one-upping themselves, picking up right at where they left off the year or the game prior. And now they're going to have to rely on the same exact thing. They're going to have to do it again. But against the Browns and their front 7, it's going to be a tough task. But I do have a little bit of optimism that the ground game can continue to be consistent and thrive, and we can split evenly with Warren and Najee and get us up the field and get us some points. Because the O-line is doing better. The fact that Broderick Jones is in there is a massive plus. We're incorporating Darnell Washington a little more in the blocking scheme. That's a big boost as well. It seems like everything is starting to gel well with that rushing offense. They're getting better week after week. It's almost similar to last year. Remember last year how the first half we couldn't get nothing going in the ground game? Then the second half came around, we really started seeing the potential. And now it's almost similar to this year as well, just with a better O-line and with more experience under Warren and Najee's belt.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we can keep thriving there, because that's the only way this offense is going to provide, because there's nothing to believe with Kenny Pickett right now.
No, not one bit.
Not even after his fourth quarter comebacks, or not after what Tomlin even said about Kenny Pickett, this is what he said, man. This was very interesting comments from Mike Tomlin in his presser earlier. He was asked a question about Kenny Pickett. He said, "We're going to need more, particularly as this road narrows, but guys like Kenny and myself were measured by wins and losses. He and I talk about that often and openly. We know what our jobs are. Our jobs are to win, and so that's where we are. That's where our focus is." I love the fact that he embraces that. So he kind of admitted that Kenny, yes, needs to step it up. He said we're going to need more, especially down the stretch. So he did kind of confirm, like, hey, we do need to see more from our quarterback. But at the same time, he just said, well, our focus, our goal is winning, I don't know how, but that they are.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. Sure as fuck don't feel like it. It don't look like it on the stat sheet, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're winning somehow, some way. So, yes, he did say we need more from Kenny, but he's also stating what we're already doing, which it's already been shown for years now. As long as Tomlin and the Steelers are winning and they get a win in the win column, they couldn't give a shit about the rest.
Yeah.
As long as they win. Doesn't matter how they do it. Doesn't matter the fashion. Doesn't matter who the fuck played like shit. As long as they win, That's a success in their book.
Yep.
So, yes, thank you, Tomlin, for pointing that out, but you're still kind of stating that as long as you win, it's just a win in the win column.
Yeah, he kind of.
It's almost like that's all he cares about. Is just winning the game.
He kind of weaseled back to exactly what he's comfortable with, and that's just narrowing out a win.
Yeah, pretty much.
To which let's be real. Like, yes, they're narrowing out wins, good, but that's only going to get you far.
Yeah.
Especially if you're narrowing out wins against a team like the Packers, who, let's be real, isn't exactly a very good team this year.
No.
You're narrowing out wins against teams like that, but if you're going to go up against much more stellar and much more high-profile football teams, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Do we not remember Week 1? Do we not remember freaking Week 4, for God's sake?
First, the Texans. The Texans just upset the Bengals. Texans are on a hot streak right now with C.J. Stroud running away with the Offensive Rookie of the Year, or Rookie of the Year trophy in general. The guy's running away with it.
So it's like, yeah, we're getting wins, good. But at the same time, we got to give constructive criticism on what we're seeing from the football games, from what we're seeing from Kenny Pickett, from what we're seeing from this whole team. The defense as well, with how much they allowed to Jordan Love.
Exactly.
It's constructive criticism. Just because we win doesn't mean we got to sweep everything under the rug, doesn't mean everything's fine and peachy.
No, because most of this stuff is not going to fly, especially if we somehow do make the playoffs, which if the season were to end right now, we would be facing the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Yeah, we get blown the fuck out. And if they somehow do win the division or make the playoffs, which is very likely, the AFC is a mess. It is a bloodbath. It is up in the air. Anyone can take it. Anyone can take it.
Yeah.
Anyone can take any seeding right now. There's 7 seeds available, and any team in that conference can take it. We are we're in the top seeding so far, but honestly, I don't know how this second half season is going to go. We have important football to play against. Most of it is against AFC North competition. We have 4 more AFC North games to play for the second half of the season, and plus the other great competition we have coming up. So we have some important football to play as the season narrows. So, we're going to need more than just stretching out victories.
Yeah. Than
what we've been doing all year, which is getting outgained but still finding a way to win. I don't even know. To me, that doesn't sound like a good thing. It doesn't. Like, you could look at it as, well, yeah, the defense is allowing all this yardage and all this chunk plays, but they're not allowing touchdowns, which, yeah, that's partially true. That's partially true. And then I also see on the offense how, they have the opportunity to continue to put points on the board, and they still fail in many opportunities.
Yep.
Most of it is just simple execution.
It's like right there, they have the opportunity to make the execution happen.
Yeah.
And they're missing it. They're completely missing it. It's messy.
Yeah.
It's very messy, and it's not going to get you far if you continue to have this stuff happen. Like we said last week against the Packers, like that's the time, or that was the game where they really need to take a small step. They're not going to take a big step. They're not doing that this year.
No.
They're not doing that this year. But they can at least take some small steps into getting better as far as execution goes. They can get better as far as trying to prevent more yardage from happening on the defense and everything.
No. Obviously, don't get it twisted. We already know where this team's going to go this year. If they somehow make the playoffs, we know what the end result is going to be. Just look at the past 4 playoff games the Steelers have had. But that doesn't mean just because we know what the end result is going to be, which is the same thing every goddamn year now, that doesn't mean we should just settle for it. That doesn't mean we should just stretch out victories in any way possible and just settle for that. Because truthfully, we are a young team. We are building to something. Or at least that is the hope. That is the intention. That is the goal. Otherwise, what else are you doing it for? So, yes, we want to see some sort of growth. And I feel like, and we said this last week, but especially now because it's AFC North football, this is when the team needs to start stepping up. They're not going to make an elite jump. They're not going to make a massive jump. They're not going to be anything convincing or massively competitive, but they have the opportunities, they have the areas to succeed and be decent. Like we said last week, man, they have it there to just win nicely instead of, messing up and saying we left this off the board or, well, we lost, but it was so ugly, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
They have those opportunities. So this is when this team really needs to start stepping up, especially now. Kenny needs to start playing better, but obviously until he does, we're not anticipating it because it seems like he's getting worse every week. And the worse he keeps playing, the more often it happens week after week, the worse it just gets. Because there is no growth there. The only growth we see is the ground game, which, again, we're going to have to rely on heavily for the remainder of the season, especially for this game, for sure. But like we said, man, the Browns defense is very good. Their front seven is dominant. Myles Garrett leads the way with, I think, 11 sacks. Yeah. 11 and a half sacks, something like that.
Yeah, they traded for Zadarius Smith this past offseason. He's been a fine addition for them, a good compliment for Garrett. The guys in the middle, Dalvin Tomlinson and Jordan Elliott, they're growing right there too, that communication going.
How many turnovers do the Browns defense have this year?
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that because I wrote it down here. The Browns defense has 15 total takeaways on defense.
How many?
15.
Okay.
They have 15. Although for their offense, they have actually given the ball up 19 times.
So they have more giveaways than takeaways.
Yes, they do. So they have a -4 turnover differential.
Interesting. And I will say this, man. We do have to give credit to Kenny in some aspect. He has been very safe with the football. Very safe.
Yeah, I believe he has not turned the ball over since week 4 against the Texans.
Right.
So if he can continue that streak and be safe with the football, then we're good. Because against this Browns team, you can't afford to turn the ball over.
Not at all. So, not in AFC North football.
I hate to say it, but my gut feeling tells me that eventually that streak's going to end, and something tells me, what better or what worse timing, more specifically, what worse timing for it to happen than against a division rival and the number 1 defense against the Browns.
Exactly.
I hope that doesn't happen. Kenny's been very good at being safe with the football. He needs to continue to keep that up, but he also needs to do a little bit more than just not giving the ball up.
Right. Well, he's also been kind of lucky with the way how he's been unable to turn the ball over.
Yeah, because
it's not to say that the opposing defenses haven't had chances. They have. And most of it is due to Kenny's poor decision-making and his accuracy. It's just the opposing defense can't make the plays up. So, yes, Kenny is not turning the ball over, but it's not because the defense hasn't had the opportunities to. They have, and they haven't come away with it. So you got to point that out because Kenny almost threw 2 to 3 interceptions last week due to poor decision-making.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with Kenny, man, is, he's – I don't know what it is. It might be the way he reads defenses before the snap and his early decision-making right before the ball is snapped. It might be his first read. It might be the fact that he's not processing the field. Maybe coaching is in his ear and saying certain shit about don't be risky or don't do this or that. But you do see in the film, there are opportunities for him to start extending the field. There are open receivers. There are some middle of the field attacks. Kenny's not taking them.
No.
What the reason is, I don't know. Is he slow to process the defense? Is he just afraid to turn the ball over? Is he too safe? I don't know what it is. But you see on the film, you see on the all 22, there are opportunities for him to sling it. Guys are open down deep, middle of the field. There are, everyone goes back to the middle of the field. Well, he takes no middle of the field shots, which I do also want to say is kind of a Canada issue more than a Kenny issue because we've seen under 4 quarterbacks with Canada, it's been the same.
Yeah, there's no middle of the field targeting.
Same basic garbage.
Middle of the field does not exist for Matt Canada.
No, that's just his playbook. That's just the route designs he gives his receivers. You can look at the passing charts from Ben, from Mitch, from Mason, from Kenny. They're all the same. So it's a playbook and a scheming issue. That's the way he draws up the routes for his receivers. But that's also to say he doesn't entirely step away from it. That doesn't mean he doesn't draw up anything towards the middle of the field. And there are opportunities for Kenny to strike there. And he doesn't. He doesn't. And that's an issue. Again, whatever it is. maybe he's processing the defense pre-snap and he doesn't like what he sees, or he's misjudging, or he's just settling with his first and only read and then just going with that rather than letting the play develop and viewing the field, or maybe he still doesn't trust the line. I don't know what the problem is, but I think Kenny needs to start processing the field a little more. I think he needs to start growing mentally as a football player on how he reads defenses and where he can strike his targets, because the opportunities are there. That doesn't mean Canada should stick around, because that we will never say that.
No.
But there are shots he can take, and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
And Kenny, man, has been a one-read quarterback.
A little more too often than we like.
Especially last week. So it might. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. We probably will never truly know. But from what we see, just Kenny cannot process the field, and it seems like he just goes with his first read, or he misjudges the defense and just I don't know. But it's a problem. And this is where Kenny is going to have to grow as a quarterback. This is not a coaching problem. This is not where coaching can fix Kenny.
No.
This is where only Kenny can fix Kenny. And it's up to him to do that.
Yeah.
And if he can't, well, guess what? Hit the curb.
Yep.
Kick rocks.
Because there's times, even with Matt Canada and his play calling and his play designs, his play scheme, everything, there's been times where Kenny can make the execution or make the plays to execute. He can get the throws there if he just lets the play design work out and everything. Like, if Kenny is not able to execute under this, which is god-awful, we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not able to execute with this, then why should we believe if he has a better OC or a better coaching scheme, then he's going to succeed there? If he's not able to do it here when he has the opportunities, time and time again, he's just missing it.
Yeah, because the truth is, I mean, a coaching change won't change anything unless Kenny changes what he needs to grow on as a quarterback. There's things coaching cannot fix. There's things coaching cannot teach. And it's been too repetitive under Kenny Pickett.
And it seems like every week, every preview, we're talking about Kenny Pickett on how he needs to work on this and that because it's true, and he's not doing it.
But it's getting stale. It's getting old, actually. I'd rather next week say, okay, man, Kenny's coming off his best game of the season. Let's see if he can continue to keep it up.
Just like with the rushing attack.
I don't think I've ever said that all year.
No, we said about the rushing game after the Titans game. Let's see if they do more. Let's keep the pedal to the metal. Let's see if they can be consistent with it. They were against the freaking Packers, 205 total rushing yards. Let's keep it up. Let's keep the pedal to the metal because we have to rely on it.
And we're going to have to rely on that, especially because there's no reason to believe Kenny can stretch the field. There's no reason to believe Kenny can actually get us down the field and score points nicely. The only way we can do that is via the ground game. But I want to also state this. I do trust the ground game, but this is a big test for them now.
Yes, it is.
Let's see if they are legit, because I'm not trying to wash away anything they did the last 2 weeks. What they did the last 2 weeks was miraculous. It was a breath of fresh air. It's great to see Najee and Warren finally leap out, right? Warren with back-to-back career high in rushing yards. First ever 100-yard rushing game this past week versus the Packers. Najee starting to eat, getting scores, right? This is a big, true, legit test to see how consistent they can be against a very good defense in the Browns, a good rushing defense in the Browns.
They're a great rushing defense at that. They're top 10.
Yeah.
Number 7, actually.
Yeah.
They're a great rushing defense. So, yeah, this is a big test. See if the Steelers rushing off. I'm not saying it's not legit. Like 2 straight weeks where they one-up themselves is great. But this is a true...
Yeah, we're not saying it's a fluke, but...
This is a true test, though.
Yeah.
Especially against a division rival that is the number 1 ranked defense. It's not going to be... This is going to be a challenge.
This is going to be a massive... This is going to be more of a defensive game than we thought last week would have been. For sure.
It's crazy.
At least I hope, because the defense is still a concern. Right? Take away the turnovers. Take away the sacks. Yes. I'm not just speaking the entire season, but especially on week 2. Especially on week 2. You take away those 2 touchdowns. You take away those sacks. The defense is still allowing big yards and big plays. It's an issue. And unfortunately, that's going to remain an issue, especially with our linebacker room taking a hit.
Yeah.
And whether we get Minka back or not, still, it's going to be a problem. It is. But as long as they continue to create turnovers and get to Watson and force mistakes, which Watson has been doing all year, there is a chance for the defense can continue to keep us in the football game. So, yes, they are allowing a lot of yardage, a lot of chunk plays, but they are preventing scores. They are making the plays necessary. Like last week. The defense was atrocious last week, but they got the turnovers necessary when it counted. It doesn't exactly take away how bad of a game the defense played, but it shows you, yes, they can create those turnovers. And the Browns have a lot of giveaways this year. What'd you say, 19? 19 giveaways.
So if there's a time for the defense to come up with another big turnover game, it's this one.
It is this one. It absolutely is this one. It's going to have to be.
This could very well be very similar to week 2, where it could just come down to whoever turns over the ball more.
Exactly.
Against two teams that know how to turn over the ball or get takeaways.
Yes, get takeaways most importantly. But unfortunately, when I look ahead at this game, I do see some unfortunate mistakes happening with this offense. It's inevitable. Just like last week when we were pounding the rock and we were going up the field, back-to-back scoring drives with Najee and Warren, rushing touchdowns, right? And the only thing we were saying is, okay, we reached our limit. When are we going to see the first mistake? And we saw a couple times where it could have really went in the Packers' favor, and it didn't for one reason or another. And unfortunately, that's going to remain the same with the Steelers' offense is when is that mistake really going to hit? When is the turnovers really going to start hitting this offense? Because it's the fear in the back of your head. They're not turning the ball over, at least not yet, but there could have been times they absolutely should have. There have been a couple times they've kind of lucked out because of it.
Yeah, but when is that luck going to run out? Is it going to be this game?
I hope not.
I sure as hell hope not.
I hope not.
This would be the worst timing for it to happen.
Yes, it would be because it's AFC North football, but the Browns are a very good defensive team, and we got to be very safe in this game. We do. We got to continue to run the football. We got to kill the clock. We got to continue to use what's been working. We got to pick up right where we left off. You want to use Kenny? Let's see Kenny use his legs a little more often. You want to use Kenny? Use him on some checkdowns. Let us use the yak ability of our receivers with Pickens and Deontay. Let's get Pickens more involved, please. It's been a few weeks since he's had a big game or a serious big play. And he's always done well against the Browns, let's be honest. You look at his career games versus the Browns, it's very, very good. So let's get Pickens involved. Let's let him continue to reign well on the Browns, right? So the offense is going to have to kind of keep doing what they've been doing, just improve a little more in the passing attack. But can they? I don't think so, but I want to be wrong. There has to be a time where I am wrong, right? I hope so. It's got to be now. If it's not now, when is it going to be?
Yeah.
At that point, it's going to be too late. So just like last week, man, this team, now's the time for them to start stepping up. And just, they're not going to make a massive jump, like we stated. They're not. But just execute in the simplest tasks. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
The opportunities have been there.
They are there. And the players are failing. Kenny's failing. And in certain cases, the receivers still can't get open in certain areas or there's drops, right? So that's where we're going to have to clean up some mistakes.
Yeah.
It's the simplest tasks that they have to clean up.
And I know it's going to be difficult. I know it's going to be hard going up against the Browns defense. But that's no reason to shy away from trying to improve.
No.
There's no reason to fear because they have the top defense in the league where you should just shy away and just stick with the running game.
In fact, this is the game where you really do want to step up because it is AFC North football. It's against the Cleveland Browns.
You want to look adversity in the face and be like, I don't fear you. I actually want the best from you so that I can better myself.
This is one of those games where the team should be even more amped up this week because they are coming off a win versus the Packers, right? And it's like I said, it's rivalry week. This is one of those games where it's going to be kind of like a bloodthirsty type of game. Like both teams are going to be out for blood.
And you're going into enemy territory. You're going into the Cleveland Browns Stadium, where that crowd, that fan base is wild, and I know they are wild.
They're wild, and after what happened week 2, the Browns are not going to be happy. So thus, the Steelers got to bring a similar and more aggressive energy.
Bring that A game.
So if there is a game they really need to start stepping up, and if it wasn't last week, it's got to be this one. This is when the season gets very important. Because not only do we got the Browns this week, next week we got the Bengals as well. So we got back-to-back AFC North football games.
On the road.
Very important. Short road travels, but very important games against AFC North talents. This is a very crucial part of the season right now. So let's see if the Steelers team can step up to the plate. Let's see if they can bring a certain energy. Let's see if they can really understand the importance or the necessary ways of growing as a football team. You know, Mike Tomlin, man, for years have been stating, I know it's not December yet, but we're getting close. That's when the team likes to amp it up because that's when the season gets most crucial. That's when the games matter the most, right? That's when everything starts coming down to the wire. That's when every NFL team, especially those in the playoff picture, are going to want to put up their A game.
Yeah.
Well, now the Steelers got to do the same thing, and it starts now. Get a head start because AFC North football is here this week. And honestly, man, you look at how everything could go, or you look at how everything could turn out.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly, I don't know how, but just like how we've gotten wins, it could etch in our favor. You don't know how it's possible, but it is. So just like how we've been winning, whatever happens in AFC North could very well etch out in the Steelers' favor. It could. We have the 2-0 division record right now. We are undefeated against the division rivals versus the Browns and versus the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I love nothing more than to sweep the Browns. That'll be very good this year. I think that'd be great, especially since both games will be against Deshaun Watson, who they paid the bank for. They had to get a loan out to pay this fucking guy.
Yeah.
So that would be great, but just to get another one up on the AFC North rivals in a tough competitive division. You know, you look at every AFC North team, you see them kind of live up to their potential or bring their A game or look a little more competitive compared to the Steelers. And you got to think the other teams are looking at us as kind of like that like the little brother, I suppose. I don't want to say little brother, but more like a, I don't know, I'm trying to find an analogy, but they look at us in a funny manner because we're not the same team that ruled the North for many years. Now we arguably could be at the bottom. There's a good chance we could be.
Mm-hmm.
So now, obviously, the Steelers, man, they don't want to be in the position the Browns were in for years. I'm not saying they're going to be, because the truth is, under Mike Tomlin, how pathetic it may be, how mediocre, most importantly, it may be, it's he's gonna keep them in contention for the division and for the playoffs. Somehow, some way, this is just another year of that. It's not great. It's not convincing. It's definitely not going to win him anything other than just another non-losing season.
Yeah.
But he is going to keep them in that contention. But the Steelers, man, you know, I just get the vibe that every other AFC North team looks at the Steelers differently than they did years ago.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean that identity and that fear factor that we always brought to the division, it's no longer there. Like, we're still competitive. That's never going to change. We're going to somehow narrow out wins. That's never going to change. But as far as the impact is felt, or the intensity is felt, or how teams used to fear us and everything, that's no longer there. And I don't know when that's going to come back. I don't know if it ever will under Mike Tomlin.
But they will always be competitive in that division. Whether it's with Mike Tomlin or just because that's the AFC North football trend. It's always competitive. I mean, you even saw, like we said, the Steelers are 2-0 versus the division rivals so far this year. So let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. We got 2 straight AFC North football games. I'm not anticipating us to win both, but I'd love to absolutely beat the Browns. I'd love us to sweep the Browns this year. I think that'd be a nice dub this year. No matter how it goes. Just to sweep the Browns again would be fun. Because sweeping the Browns is always fun. And I'm not ready to let that go. we got used to that for so many years, and I'm not ready to just let that not happen. So I'm hoping the Steelers can keep sweeping the Browns, man. So Steelers versus Browns. It's going to be an interesting game, probably highly defensive, probably very similar to week 2. Both teams aren't really that much different from the week 2 game, but I think the Steelers have a little more fighting chance on the offense with the ground game, and hopefully they can keep bringing that energy versus a strong Browns defense. As for our defense, man, just keep getting to Watson, make the turnovers, just keep making those necessary plays. As long as you do that, man, I mean, the Steelers will have a fighting chance in the football game.
Yep.
So let's hope the Steelers kind of step up when it matters the most. They've been doing it in many cases this year, but that's just not waiting to the fourth quarter. That's what I mean by that is you gotta step up in a lot of aspects rather than just finishing the game out in the fourth quarter. You got to execute in the simplest tasks. You got to try to slow down opposing offenses and limit the big gains more than you have the previous weeks, right? You know, simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Basic execution is all I ask this week.
Again, a small step forward.
Yeah.
A small step forward. You clean up some of the mess that you're just leaving behind and work your way towards the tail end of the regular season with where you're at right now. Then we're looking at a very serviceable football team.
Yes.
A very serviceable offense, so to speak.
And we know that they can do that. We know that they can do that. But, you know, I also thought that last week going into the Packers game, and we got pretty much, at least for the first half, it was the opposite, where the offense was going and the defense couldn't stop anything.
Yeah.
So it's like we can't get both. It's either one or the other. Do you want a dominant defense with a shitty offense all game, or do you want a decent offensive ground game with the defense not stopping a thing?
So pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
It's a double-edged sword.
Which one are we going to get?
Can't have both.
Which one are we going to get?
With this team, you're never going to have both. So it's like for the Browns game, it's what's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, this team is what they are.
We are who they thought they were.
But
they are what we know they are.
That doesn't mean that we should have to settle for it. That doesn't mean we should be happy about it. We should want more. Tomlin said we need more from Kenny Pickett. You goddamn right. From this whole team in general, we should want more. We should need more.
Yeah.
So give us more. Nothing drastic, nothing crazy, no blowouts. No, that's not going to happen.
No, because the truth is we are not asking for a convincing win. We're not asking for a blowout. We're not asking for elite play because we are far from that. All we're asking is to clean up the basic flaws because the tape has shown they had the opportunities to execute and they haven't. As long as you execute in the simplest tasks, you're fine.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry as much. We can get down the field, get more points. It's that simple. That's all we got to do. That's all we ask for, especially in this game. You do that, you'll be a little more competitive versus the AFC North football teams. You'll have a better chance of winning rather than waiting to the last fucking play of the game to get an interception.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
That's all we ask.
Just hit the simple targets. That's all you got to do. It's right in front of you, and you keep missing. So that's all we ask right now. We're not asking for anything drastic because we know we're not getting that. We're far from it. Just hit the basics. Simple stuff. Because you know you can. It's right there. How you guys feel about this game, man? There's a poll in the chat. Do the Steelers sweep the Browns? 69. Nice. % say yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, they do.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, man, I think we do. I think we do. This is not one of those games I'm going into feeling confident, but I think on AFC North football, there's always a fighting chance with the Steelers. So, yes, I do hope, and I am optimistic we can definitely sweep the Browns this year. Thinking the Browns how you won, but, I mean, I'm kind of hoping Deshaun Watson throws another 2 touchdowns to us.
Yeah, right.
It's like he throws more touchdowns to opposing teams than his own teammates. All right, let's see where we're at in the chat. Let me see. Oh, shout out to Unger to the max. He's in the chat. How you doing, bro? Says you're not coming to the dog pound and sweeping us. I don't know.
I don't know, Unger. I beg to differ. I beg to differ, bro. I don't know. I mean, I'm expecting a heavily defensive matchup. I'm expecting the type of matchup where both run offenses are definitely going to lead the charge.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. Like, it could come down to whoever turns the ball over more. And, I mean, you guys are just not safe with the ball. You're just not safe with the football.
You're right, but I also feel like if there's going to be one game where the mistakes are really going to start happening, it's going to be this one.
And, listen, again.
For the Steelers offense.
Browns defense is great. Every game they have showed up. Every game they've left an impact.
Yeah. Can't
deny that whatsoever. So, again, you got to be safe with the ball. You've been very safe for the past several weeks. You got to keep it up, but I don't know when that streak's going to end.
I don't know.
I just hope it's not this week.
Well, keep in mind, we got Myles Garrett versus Dan Moore again. Dan Moore has had they've won their fair share. They've ran their fair share of battles, ever since Dan Moore's come into the league. So he's gonna have to continue to step up against an elite edge rusher and Myles Garrett for sure.
Yeah,
because Myles Garrett is not an easy task. And does he lead the league in sacks right now?
He's tied with Danielle Hunter. With 11.
With 11. TJ Watt's not far behind him.
No, just a half a sack out. Half a sack out.
Which I think will bring up a good discussion now that we got Max in the chat. In fact, I'll make this a poll. I mean, I already know what the answer is going to be, but
yeah,
I'm gonna put it in the poll.
Who better?
I already know the answer.
That answer ain't changing.
All right, who is better, TJ Watt or Myles Garrett? Spoiler, it's TJ Watt. TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett. I'm sorry.
I know they play different positions. They're both edge, but in Garrett's situation, he's a 4-3 DN.
Right.
Watt's a 3-4 outside linebacker. But
well, let me ask you this. If Myles Garrett were to leave the Browns, or no, better yet, let's say the Browns run a scheme change. Let's say they go from a 4-3 to a 3-4. That would force Myles Garrett to play outside linebacker, which means he would drop into coverage. Do you think Garrett can make plays in coverage the way Watt does? The answer is no. No. The answer is no.
The fact that Watt's able, and he's able to drop back in coverage and still get the amount of pressure that he is and sacks that he is.
Yes.
The way he's at him playing outside linebacker, he's adding more. He's adding more to his resume.
Yes.
But he's doubling down on what he's able to do at outside linebacker than what Garrett's doing at DN.
Yeah, because here's the way you got to look at it, folks. Guys like Myles Garrett or Nick Bosa or whoever, or Joey Bosa, whoever the hell you want to put in there, right? They are rushing the passer every down. Every down that they're in, they are rushing the quarterback. TJ Watt does not rush the quarterback every down. There are times where he's in coverage, and he still makes plays.
And there's times where he's also in rotations. There's also times where he's in rotations, so he's not even on the field all the time.
Right. Well, obviously, Garrett and them do that as well. But I'm stating that when they're on the field, those guys are rushing the passer every down, while Watt isn't rushing the passer every down.
I hear you.
But Watt is still up there in sacks and pressures more than they are.
Yeah, of course.
What the fuck does that tell you?
Tells you he's the best defensive player in the fucking league.
He is. TJ Watt is a better pass rush. He's a better defensive player than Myles Garrett. He's a better defensive player than Nick Bosa. He's a better defensive player than, honestly, anyone in the league right now. He is your He is your defensive player of the year, no doubt about it. The guy is a gem. The guy is. I would be scared to know where the Steelers would be without him. Truthfully.
I don't even want to think about that.
I don't want to think about it.
As a matter of fact, we already know. Remember last year?
Remember last year? Yeah.
Holy crap! As if that alone wasn't enough to showcase his impact.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a generational talent, an impact player? T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Nobody else touches that.
Yeah. No one.
T.J. Watt is in a realm of himself.
He is out of this world, bro. He is an alien from another planet.
He's not human.
No.
He's not human.
T.J. Watt is your defensive player of the year this year, man. If he gets robbed again, there will be some. There are some problems out there. Seriously.
He was arguably robbed twice.
He was robbed twice.
Uncrowned, 2-time defensive player of the year.
3-time.
3-time. 2-time uncrowned. 2-time uncrowned. One time he finally won it.
Yeah, exactly.
He had to tie, although he should have broken. He had to tie Strahan's record in order to freaking get it. Well, I was like, damn it, if this is what I have to do to get my fucking award, then fine.
Yeah.
No one's ever touching that.
See, I
don't
think many people take that into consideration. Watt drops in coverage more than the other edge rushers in the league.
Yeah.
Because of scheming. And he performs it at a great level. Don't forget, his first game versus the Browns, he got a sack and an interception.
Now, you want to talk about
in his rookie year.
You want to talk about a Browns killer. You want to talk about a Browns killer.
T.J. motherfucking Watt. Yeah. That's the guy right there. He's gonna have to continue to make plays, man. And not only him, but Alex Highsmith. Week 2, those two were the MVPs of that game, along with George Pickens. Alex Highsmith with a strip sack and a pick 6. Watt with a sack and a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yep.
We're gonna need them to do it again, man. We're gonna need them to pull it off a repeat. So I think that'd be awesome. And as long as those two are on the defense, you can trust.
Of course.
You can trust them to make plays. 100%. People in the chat are saying Broderick Jones versus Myles Garrett. I want to see it. But Myles Garrett's not going to go to the left side. Myles Garrett's not going to go to Broderick's side.
No. And he doesn't need to. Again, he's got Zadarius Smith on the opposite side of him. So, he doesn't have to move around.
They don't swap. They don't swap positions. Myles Garrett stays on the right side of his defense against the left tackle.
Yeah.
I love to see Broderick Jones versus Myles Garrett. I'd like to see Myles Garrett move over to the left side to face Broderick's right side, but that's not going to happen unless they want to put Broderick at left tackle. But honestly, man, at this point, do you put Broderick Jones at left tackle?
I mean, he's playing so well at right. I mean, I don't think you move him.
If it's working, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, originally that was a concern because one of the biggest concerns with the Steelers' offensive line for years is they keep putting players out of position.
Mm-hmm.
Broderick Jones has more playing time as a left tackle, but he obviously still switched around at right tackle in his time in Georgia. And no matter where he's at, he's going to be a stud tackle. He was a stud versus the Ravens at left tackle, and he's been a stud at right tackle since stepping in at right. I mean, the dude is a gem.
Yeah.
But do you move him to left now? I mean, either way, he's going to be a stud. But, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
He's doing so well at right tackle right now, and I think the experiment with Dan Moore, I don't think Tomlin's ever going to give up on that. So it's like...
Unfortunately.
So it's like we might as well settle for Broderick at right tackle, but even then, he's doing so well. Considering the fact Steelers love to run to the right 9 times out of 10 anyway. They like to run the ball on that side.
Yeah, that's just the way the scheme goes, and it's been very successful with Broderick Jones leading the pack.
So it's like, yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep it going.
No, because for the entire offseason, up until the draft, like the Steelers need a franchise left tackle, which was Broderick Jones, right? Franchise left tackle. They put him at left tackle initially, then they moved him to right. And again, either way, it doesn't matter because he's going to be a stud tackle at any side.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm keeping him at right. If they want to switch him to left later in a couple years, then maybe they could. But You know, if he's perfecting one side, just let him stay there. You know what I mean? Let him stay there. And then if you want to get another left tackle, I am more than welcome to go draft another one. Get 2 franchise tackles on each side. In fact, that's what I'm still doing. I'm keeping Broderick on the right side, and I'm still drafting a left tackle. Whether you want to have him compete with Dan Moore or replace Dan Moore, preferably replace, I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
That is revamping that line entirely. So
and then all you would have to do is look at center.
Yes.
Look at a true franchise center, long-term center, and then boom, your line's just stacked.
It's complete because you got Sayamalu and Daniels as your guards. You have Broderick at right. You fix your center, and then you replace Dan Moore because Dan Moore's still not the answer, folks. Dan Moore's been decent, but he's still not the answer.
No,
he is not the long-term guy. No, he can be a backup.
He can be that reliable swing tackle.
Exactly.
He can be that guy.
Exactly.
That is what fits him the best.
And Tomlin has said he's a better left tackle than a right, so don't even bring up maybe we move Dan Moore to right. That's not happening. Tomlin already shut that down.
Yeah, so Broderick more likely he's staying at right tackle. He's not moving.
And at this point, I'm fine with it. I wasn't fine with it initially, but he's
had 0 issues on the right side.
0 concerns.
So it's like, I still think he's a better left, but if he's having 0 problems at right, then I'm keeping him at right.
Yeah.
Just keep him there.
Right. And then you can get a left tackle. You can draft another left tackle. And then that'll fix your entire offensive line. Think about that. Think about that. That's still something I'm looking into for the draft. Offensive line, whoever they put at left tackle or any tackle position. I mean, the other position's still going to have to be fixed.
Yeah.
If they do move Broderick back at left, then right tackle's still going to be an issue because they're not keeping Chucks. They're not moving Dan Moore there.
No.
So regardless of wherever they leave Broderick Jones, the other tackle position is still going to be an issue.
Yep.
So that's obviously going to be something the Steelers are going to have to still address. So don't think that they won't have to because they will. But where do you keep Broderick Jones, man? I mean, it's working now. Why change it? Why change it? Why did we even pay Chucks? Good dude, Kobe, I don't even know. In fact, they would save over $8 million in cap space if they were to cut him next year.
If I were to look,
what if Dan Moore gets hurt? Then what? What do you mean? What if Dan Moore gets hurt? You mean for this year?
Then I would probably imagine they put Broderick back at left and Chucks gets his job back.
Yeah.
That's what I would imagine. Then you have Dylan Cook as that backup. Yeah, I'm looking right here. His contract, if Steelers were to cut him next year, it would be...
Hit the X.
What, this one?
Yeah. No, 2024.
Yeah. Come on, if it loads up.
They would save... It's not loading. Give it a minute.
Yeah, I know, this freaking laptop. Jesus Christ. I hate technology so much. Oh, because I'm trying to push an X. Come on.
They would save $8.75 million.
Yep. I don't know about you, but I'm doing that.
Yeah, that's.
I'm making that decision in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Chucks is done. Chucks is done. Cole's got to go. You just replace those. You replace the other tackle position and center. Your line is clean.
Now, if there's one position I think that they would fix more so, if they were to choose one, it's center. Because I stated the Dan Moore experiment. It's just something about Mike Tomlin with Dan Moore. He just does not like to give up on the guy.
Oh, I agree.
For some reason, I don't like. I can see Dan Moore working his way through his rookie year, and then maybe that's when the Steelers would want to look at left tackle. Because I don't think Dan Moore sticks around after his rookie contract. I don't think Moore's the answer. He hasn't been overly bad, but he hasn't been great.
For a depth reason, I'd bring him back, but that's it.
That's the only reason you bring him back.
Yeah, I'm not.
But you don't want to overpay him.
Yeah, I'm not running with him as a starter.
You don't want to overpay him only to draft a left tackle in 2025. Because the way I see it, I think he's a left tackle in 2024.
No.
I don't think that should be the case.
No.
I don't.
No.
I listen. I know.
No.
But based off Tomlin and his thing about Moore at left tackle, I don't know what it is. He just won't give up on him. He's like so attached to Dan Moore there.
Well, it's like that mistake that he just won't admit he fucked up.
And
with.
it wouldn't be the first time that he's done it. Matt Canada.
Kendrick Green.
Yeah. How many cornerbacks?
How many other corners?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Tomlin's that type of guy where he's just like, he doesn't want to admit failure.
Yeah.
It's not working, but he wants to keep trying until, maybe it does work out one day, when in reality it's not really working out the way that you want to, Tomlin.
Exactly.
But I think Dan Moore will be the left tackle in 2024. Broderick will be the right, and the only O-line position they'll fix is center, which they should.
I'm drafting a center.
Mason Cole is not going to be here for a long time.
No, and he's been better this stretch of the season, but I'm still replacing it. They need a real center.
No, not just a real center, a young center at that.
Yeah.
A young center.
Good.
You need that long-term ability at center, man.
I know. Topping this offensive line off with a real center would play for the next 8 years would be ideal. Exactly. You have another goon squad, literally. Mayfield looks way better than Pickett with the Bucks. I agree. Do y'all think it's possible that we get Dobbs back in the offseason? Great question, Ahmad. The answer is no. And the reason I say that is because they extended Mitch. And Khan couldn't be any more happy to have Mitch.
Yeah.
He couldn't praise him enough in his combine interview last year.
And not just that, not just the fact that Mitch is going to be here for the next, I want to say 2 years.
They extended him.
Yeah. So he's going to be sticking around as the backup, and Dobbs I think he's a projected free agent next year. And the way he's performing, if he keeps it up, he's going to get a bag.
He's going to go. So teams are going to look at him and
he's going to get a bag. He's going to get some money.
Yeah.
From whoever, I don't know, but he's going to get some money.
Yeah. If I see Canada coming back in 2024, I'd go to break something in my bedroom. I'll break more than something in the bedroom for sure. We're gonna have to get home insurance. That's for sure. The Bull gets fired from the Giants. Should Steelers pursue him as OC? Yeah. Yeah. I am. See what he did for Josh Allen and the Bills when he was there? Speaking of that, Ken Dorsey got fired from the Bills.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no longer the OC now.
No. Not at all. He's an option next year, I'm not going to lie.
I mean...
See, when you bring that up, that kind of triggers... The Steelers are going to have options. The Steelers are absolutely going to have options. More options than they did this year.
Yeah.
They're going to have a lot more options than they did this year. For next year to replace OC.
Yep.
A lot more options.
Dorsey's an option out there.
Dorsey, Leftwich, who else? You want to bring in Kingsbury? Maybe the Bull does get fired, although I doubt it. Didn't he just win Coach of the Year last year?
Yeah, he did. His first season with the Giants.
Yeah.
It's just a bad year for New York.
Yeah.
Just a very bad year. But also doesn't help they paid Daniel Jones $100 million.
I know.
That was a very idiotic decision.
Very idiotic decision. I agree. I don't know what they were doing. Speaking of Mr. Steelfan says, Kenny Pickett is Daniel Jones 2.0. No, Kenny Pickett is more Zach Wilson. He is more Zach Wilson.
That's not good.
No. Kenny Pickett is Zach Wilson 2.0. Go root for another team then. He's talking to... You guys ever notice that the Twins never respond and nobody's quotes, they just hear themselves talk? What are you talking about? We're reading the chat right now. The fuck are you talking about, Julian?
No comment. Someone from the Kyle Shanahan tree like the quarterback coach. Someone from that tree, says Autumn.
I agree. That or McVay's coaching tree.
Yeah, either one.
Those two. Or Shanahan or McVay's coaching tree. They're both very successful. Pickett's the only quarterback in the NFL that has only 5 turnovers. Interesting. I didn't know that. Only 5. Where are we at? Where are we at in the chats? Of course, most of you guys put Watt. 60 votes say Watt's better than Myles Garrett. In fact, you know, I'm going to put another poll in the chat real quick. Put one more chat in the poll real quick. Alright, there. Put that poll there. Do you guys keep Broderick Jones at right tackle? Yes or no? Damn, that's fucking funny. I was thinking the same. I wasn't going to say it, but that's the same. I was thinking the same thing. Kenny has resolved his happy feet and lack of patience in the pocket. He's also got to read the defenses. He's got to process his reads. More so, he's got to, and that goes in with your lack of patience in the pocket. Like he's got to, he's got to sit back and read,
Scan the field
rather than just assume pre-snap and then just flat route, flat route, flat route. I feel like that's his biggest problem right now, is he misjudges pre-snap and just goes with his first decision. Doesn't even care what else is happening. It's like he comes to a decision before the ball is snapped. That's his problem.
Hence why he only looks down one target. He's doing that way too often. If he just sits back and scans the football field, and the offensive line, the pass protection has actually been pretty solid lately.
It has.
So he has time there. Like against the Packers, Pickett had much more time than he ever did all season, and even then Pickett wasn't really doing so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
So your best lineman should be at left tackle, says Peanut Brooks. That's true. See, that's true, and that's why we wanted a franchise left tackle, because that is important. Because the left tackle is the blind spot of the quarterback, is the most important part. Angie mature, she needs to go over to the left because he is the bully of the league. Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with you guys. Either way, I mean he's gonna be a stud.
See, what they could also do, because it's maybe back to Kevin Dotson's rookie year when he was the right guard when DeCastro got hurt, but the next year when he was the starter, they switched him to left guard. If they wanted to, they can continue to keep Broderick at right tackle, which I think would be the case.
Right.
But if they really want to, they can move him at left tackle next year, which I'm fine with. And maybe they get rid of Chucks, but maybe sign another right tackle or draft a right tackle.
Right.
That could be an option. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, or they could keep Broderick at right and then draft another left tackle. But the problem is, at least with Broderick, you know you have a certified tackle. You know you have a certified left tackle.
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep him at right and then worry if that other rookie is going to do well at left, when you already know Broderick is a stud at left.
Yeah.
He's a stud at right as well, but, I mean, if the Steelers are viewing that as a major importance, which they should, you guys are right. I mean, the left tackle is very important for that reason alone, right? I mean, look at how many other great tackles in the league. Trent Williams, for instance, right? Tristan Wirfs. I mean, isn't he a right tackle now? Wasn't he a left initially?
I think he is at the moment. I think.
But you see what I'm getting at. I mean, these guys are very important to their line, their quarterbacks, and you have that in Broderick.
Yeah.
So if they are viewing that as a major factor, then yes, you already know for certain Broderick is capable there.
Yeah. I mean,
thus it's an easy decision to move him back to left.
But that's Kenny's blind spot. You need to make sure you have that insurance right there. Broderick can do that.
Yeah.
You know, when they were scouting him, when we were all scouting him, we were scouting him as a left tackle.
Yeah.
From his Georgia tape, from his Georgia days. He was a standout there at left tackle. Maybe this is, I don't know. Maybe this is an experiment thing for Broderick, see if he can work at right tackle, which he's already showing he can.
Yeah.
But he's a much better left tackle. So maybe they do put him back at left tackle next year. I don't know. Maybe they continue that position battle with Broderick Jones and Dale Moore next year, although it's not really a battle at this point. No. Broderick's your best lineman.
I just hope they don't run into that issue at left tackle and make it so complicated.
When they could just simply do the easiest thing. Put him over there.
Right.
Right tackle, you get rid of Chucks, you sign a free agent that's bound to be out there, or if you want to draft a right tackle there, you can do that too.
Yeah.
You know?
Would you hire Josh McDaniels as your OC? Absolutely fucking not. Nah. Broderick Jones on the right because running backs run better on the right, and that's where their scheming lies. Is they run solely, or not solely, but mainly on the right side. So I mean, there's pros and cons to keeping him on right or left. You want to keep him for the blind side, but they like to run the ball towards the right a lot. They like to toss it to the right side. And Broderick Jones is a much better lead blocker than Chucks ever is.
And when you look at their scheme, when you look at what they prioritize on offense, it is running the ball.
Yes.
That's their go-to.
So I mean, there are factors in either side. I mean, he can play. It doesn't matter where he's at. He's going to be a stud. He is. I just hope that whatever decision they make, where they keep him, they still focus on upgrading the other side.
Yeah, like they have a smart backup plan. They have a backup plan there.
Yeah. They're making Broderick Jones unaffordable when it comes to when it comes time to sign him. He'll be able to play left and right and demand a ton more money. Then you pay him.
No, you don't hesitate with Broderick.
Okay, I don't understand that. He's a first-round pick, and he's playing out of his mind.
He's a first-round pick
yes,
that you traded up to get. You traded up to get. And he's exceeding expectations at right tackle. But you know that he's a capable left tackle.
I don't fear having to pay players big money because you drafted them in the first round for a reason. And once they exceed those expectations, they earn every goddamn penny. So, yeah, we're paying them.
I'm not hesitating one bit.
That's exactly why you draft him. So you can pay him because he's so damn good.
That's years down the line. That's years down the line.
But yeah, that's not a concern with me.
That's a 5-year plan, but
that's not a concern with me.
No. When that time comes, you pay that freaking guy the money.
Aren't we glad we have this problem with Broderick Jones? Love it. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've had that on the line. It's been a while. Glad we finally got it. There's a 5-year plan that he's on no matter what. Yeah, he'll get his 5th-year option exercised as long as he keeps playing.
Yeah, if he keeps up at this pace, he improves. Yeah.
I don't want to jump the gun, but I mean, come on, bro. I mean, I've watched so many poor tackles over the years that I'm already.
Yeah. Never seen a tackle with this impactful in a long time.
Yeah, it's just like when Joe Hayden came in his corner. I've seen so many garbage ass corners. Like I knew Hayden was gonna be a stud.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that guy. Now we gotta deal with Levi Wallace's bum ass, who allowed 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Fucking scrub. How's he not cut yet? We couldn't bring in another goddamn corner. We couldn't grab that guy the Patriots cut that's now with the Raiders or something.
What was his name? Was it Jack Jones?
Jack Jones.
Was it Jack Jones or Marcus Jones?
I don't know. It was one of them.
He got too many Jones. Jack Jones, Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones.
They didn't cut Marcus Jones.
Jarvis Jones.
Did they cut Marcus Jones?
I don't freaking know.
They didn't cut Marcus Jones.
So it was Jack Jones right then, huh?
Jack Jones.
It was Jack Jones.
Yeah, they'd be stupid to get rid of Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones is a stud.
Yeah.
Why would they? Isn't he on IR?
I don't know. But the Patriots, I don't know.
Regardless.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know Jack Jones got claimed off waivers by the Raiders. Has Luke Barco played? No, he has not. He's on the practice squad?
I believe he is. Or maybe not. Maybe he got...
Did he get elevated?
I don't know. Let me
No,
double
Barco's
check.
on the practice squad.
He is? Still?
Yes.
Okay, he is.
You know what corner I want to see get more playing time? Elijah Riley.
Yeah.
The small bits that we've seen him, he's been all over the field. You just know he's there. You just know he's there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the reason why Darius Rush was inactive was because for the game there were certain packages that Rush didn't fit in, or he didn't try out yet. So that's why Elijah Riley was seen a bit more, because he was experimented in those projects,
Right.
and those packages.
Well, keep him going. Honestly, I'd make Levi Wallace inactive and play Darius Rush and put him outside. Something. Anything's better than Levi Wallace, right?
I'll take James Pierre at this point.
James Pierre. I keep forgetting he exists. Let's see. Probably keeping Levi Wallace because of his salary. Cheap? I mean, hold on. Let's see his contract. It is kind of cheap. They did sign it, what was it, two-year
deal.
2 year, $8 million last year.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's cheap. I don't care if it's cheap. I don't care if I'm only saving a penny, bro. Cut his ass. Dude's a bum.
It's like, why can, even in rotations, why continue to play him when hasn't done one positive?
Yeah, dude, they watch this guy all the time, and they know he gives up all this yardage. Like, did they watch the end of that one game where he made the play, and they're just like, you know what? He's back. Did they watch him at the end of the Titans game? He's like, that's why we keep you. No.
Yeah, one positive play outside of like 15 negative.
Even Antoine Blake got an interception every now and then.
Yeah,
he sucked.
Oh my God.
Valentino
Blake.
Even Lima Swede caught a football. You know, like even Antonio Brown rationally thinks. Like, come on, man.
Even Mike Mitchell made a tackle, you know?
Where else can we go? Even Jarvis Jones got a sack. Let's keep this going. Keep going.
Even Sanquez Golson showed up at practice.
See, how can I top that one?
Woo!
How can I top that one?
Yeah.
Fuck, hold on. Give me a minute. Hold on. Give me a minute. Fuck, I'm lost.
Yeah, man, that was.
Damn, I don't know if I can top that.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta give me a minute. Hold on. Fuck, hold on.
Man,
hold on. Give me a minute.
that man couldn't stay healthy, man. It sucks.
Even Ike Taylor caught an interception.
Yeah, sure.
That's cheap, though. That's cheap. I don't know. I'm out. I think you won.
Yes, the young boy even missed through a touchdown.
Yeah. Even Pat Freiermuth can block every now and then. Which, please don't. We should be getting Pat Freiermuth back soon, but please do not insert him in blocking.
No. That's what Darnell's for.
Let's get him in the slot. Let's get him up the middle. Honestly, I think Pat Freiermuth can be our solution to the slot issue. We don't use our slot weapons.
No, we don't.
Allen Robinson's been non-existent.
He's been more so a blocker.
A very good blocker.
Very good, but he's been more so that. Like that's the big thing about his addition. He hasn't been used as a target.
But I think
he probably should be. Let's be real.
Should be, but I think Pat Freiermuth can be the solution to the slot issue.
I don't know why we don't insert him there.
He can't block, so use him in the passing game, which he's very good at. You know he is. He's underutilized.
Yeah.
Use him in the slot. Very, very similar to like an Evan Ingram. Like, you know he can't block. You know he's not good at the line. So get him in
it's just what other NFL teams do with their tight ends. It's what the Chiefs do with Travis Kelce. It's what the Ravens do with Mark Andrews. It's what the Bills are doing with Dalton Kincaid. You know?
Yeah.
They're getting them into the slot because that's a mismatch, and they work in it, and they're successful at it.
Yeah.
So why can't you just do that with Pat Freiermuth?
Exactly. That's something they ought to try, you know?
Yeah.
SteelTwins, who do you think is going to get the green dot for defense? That's going to be Landon Roberts.
More than likely.
I mean, it was Quan Alexander, but he got hurt.
Yeah, so
it's going to be Roberts now, which means he'll see 3 downs, which isn't very ideal, but
yeah.
Here we are. Let's see. Start rush and let Pat Pete roam and passing downs even if Minka back. I like that. Nathan says I'm going center in the draft in the first round. I agree. Either center or tackle. It's not changing. I'd even entertain corner.
Yeah, because I don't know if Pat's going to be sick around after this year.
No.
They could cut him if they want to.
I would opt out. Even Canada can call a good game.
Yeah. Yep.
How do you feel about Fioku getting cut and I'm pissed we need him in the middle? Yeah, I felt like that was unnecessary. Like, why they cut him? Like, Levi Wallace still has a job.
Yeah, he didn't even play often.
No.
You know, we brought him in as that, run defender. That rotational defensive lineman there. But
yeah, I don't know why they cut Fioku.
Maybe the D line depth's just too crowded. Like,
you never have too many.
Yeah. Even then, it's like, I don't know. Because we only have 7. What's wrong with 8 defensive linemen?
None. Stack it, bro. Stack them. Stack them, man. That's exactly why we need a new OC. I better not see Matt Canada next year. We need better, and the Steelers fans deserve better, says Autumn. I agree. Couldn't agree more. He's got to go, right? I hope us having a possibly another non-losing season doesn't mean his job is safe. That'd be fucking terrible. It didn't save Randy Fichtner.
No, it didn't.
It can't save Matt Canada. Don't play Minka till the Bengals. Yeah, I wouldn't rush Minka. I definitely wouldn't rush Minka.
No.
So I would agree. Bernie, I would agree. Don't rush him. What happens if next season we have a new coordinator and then Kenny puts up really good numbers? Does Tomlin lose his job for keeping Canada the years prior? Ooh. That's an interesting topic. Interesting question. The answer would be no, because they're never going to get rid of Tomlin.
No. The only time Tomlin leaves is when he's done.
Yeah, they're too stubborn. They're too blind to get rid of him. But yeah, that would be telling, wouldn't it? But who would be the OC? That's the question. Who would be the OC to help Kenny that much? Or better yet, here's the better question. Who would be the OC that Tomlin would be fine with running the offense?
I'm still sticking to my gut feeling, saying that's going to be Mike Sullivan, our quarterback coach.
Hopefully not. That'd be terrible. Another in-house promotion?
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I want us to actually go outside the organization and get someone with prior experience.
We cannot do another in-house promotion. That would be
not only prior experience, but prior success at it.
Yes.
Don't just get a guy because
experience.
Just don't get somebody because he has experience, like Mike Sullivan. He has experience, yeah, but it's not good experience.
No, it's not.
It's not. And it's another in-house promotion. They're just giving the guy that's inside the promotion a freaking the spot.
Yeah.
They didn't earn it. They didn't do anything. Like Canada. Here for 1 year and just get to the job without earning it.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything. It's just like enough of that.
Yeah. And Brian DeBall. Josh McDaniels. I'm not heavy on McDaniels, but, I mean, again, man, the Steelers are going to have a lot more options next year. So they better bring in someone from outside the organization. They can't just completely look away from that. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Seriously.
Yep.
I mean, I know that's still months from now, but it's never I should say it's fun to, think ahead. Think ahead. Because it's going to happen. It's going to be necessary. It has to happen. It's not like we're thinking, well, if this guy fails, man, how about we get this guy to replace him? It's like, yeah, we already know this guy's failing, so
yeah,
we're already thinking way ahead. Canada isn't helping Canada much. He hasn't really helped any quarterback this team has had under Canada. That's why I can't truly give a fair judgment of Pickett, and that's fair. That's fair, but
I can understand where you're going from there.
But I see Pickett as a quarterback, just the way he plays the position, his accuracy, his reads, his decision making, everything he does in the pocket.
Yeah,
it's not good. That is stuff coaching cannot fix. That is Kenny's duty and his duty only. That is where the proper criticism comes from Kenny. The OC change could definitely help. And like I keep saying, man, a competent OC will maneuver the offense around Kenny's positives and keep away from his negatives. Almost like a check down artist, because that's kind of where Kenny's at right now.
Yeah.
Because he can't extend the field. Not mentally, not with arm talent. He just can't. Until proven otherwise, he can't. So a competent OC is going to have to maneuver around that and turn that into a positive for Kenny. Use our yak ability, extend the field, use some middle of the field, right? Which would allow a lot of the yak ability, right? But otherwise, Kenny himself is going to have to help himself out. That's the only way. It's the only way. Does Kenny throw a pick? I say yes.
I mean, he's due for one, isn't he?
Long overdue. In fact, let me get one more poll in the chat before we get on out of here. What should be the last poll? Let me get one more poll in here.
How about...
I'm trying to make it... Let's make it Steelers Browns related.
Yeah. How's about... Hold on. How's about... I'm trying to think. Who gets more sacks? Nah. I don't know.
Let's see. It's got to be Kenny Pickett related. Let's say... No, I can't put that because we already know the answer. I was going to put how many touchdown passes does Kenny throw? The answer is 1.
Yeah. He averages 1.
Maybe.
Barely.
Maybe. All right, bet. I got you. All right, it's not going to be Kenny related, but...
Do we get a 400-yard game?
No.
Young boy, that ain't happening for a while.
And speaking of which, there were people on social media saying, well, if this play happened and this didn't happen and this penalty didn't happen, then we would have had this and that. It's like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It didn't happen. Move on.
Yeah. Do we outgain the Browns?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
As a matter of fact, I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm going to look back at the Week 2 matchup. I know the Browns freaking ran all over our ass that game, but I want to take a look at it. So, go to here. Oh yeah, holy crap, they really outgained us.
What'd you just see?
No, I'm just looking at the
Where's the plus?
the total yardage.
Okay.
No. That one. There you go.
All right, here's the poll.
Oh, come on.
What?
I'm just taking a look here.
What are you doing?
No. I'm gonna break this fucking thing, I swear.
I put a poll in the chat. How many rushing yards did the Steelers offense gain? Under 100, 100 to 120, 130 to 150, or 150 to 200 plus? Keep in mind, this is the Browns defense. It's a legit defense. Week 2, we couldn't get anything going in the ground game. The difference is we can now with Broderick Jones at right tackle. I don't think the Browns took many hits on defense, injury related.
No, not really.
No.
No, they're
We did, but they didn't. Fuck.
They're pretty healthy.
Swear joy. I have to make it a mission to get more coins for the swear joy.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The Browns outgained us by 153 yards.
Bro, you could
So
just
it wasn't even close.
Just go to team stats.
What are you talking about?
What are you calculating it for?
What are you talking about?
Go to team stats.
What do you mean team stats? Where?
Motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Dog, it tells you.
I don't go to that, bro.
Bro, you just had to. You calculated all that when they literally had the answer for you.
No, not really.
This is right there. Boom.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
2 seconds, dog.
I don't go to team stats.
Right. They can't get 2 touchdowns because no way Browns are going to let the run game get going on the team. So you trust Kenny to get us down the field through the air for 2 touchdowns? That's bold. That's bold, my guy. I love the enthusiasm, but that's bold, bro. Denzel Ward's out. Is that confirmed?
Is he?
Well, Jair Alexander was out for the Packers, and that didn't do us a damn thing. So I don't view that as like a oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, Ward and Thornhill are questionable.
Well, he suffered a neck injury. I know that. If anything,
That still doesn't make me feel any more positive about Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's gonna help Deontay because I know Pickens is gonna go up against Martin Emerson again, right? And every time he goes up against Martin Emerson, he schools that dude. So there's no settle me out
if Ward is out, Newsom's gonna have to be the number 1, while Emerson's gonna have to step in. But yeah.
Well, Martin Emerson versus George Pickens? Yeah, take a George Pickens tutty all day.
Well, you should. Definitely should.
All right, so 29 votes, and it's very, very, very divided.
Very split.
But 130-150, you guys say how many rushing yards do the Steelers offense gain. So I think that's about right. Anything under 100 would be disappointing. But I know this is going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
This is a legit defense. This is AFC North football. This is going to be a challenge. I'd hope the rushing offense can continue to get something going. That'd be great. They give me a little more hope for the game. Otherwise, then I don't know. So this is going to be a big test. This is going to be a legitimate, true test for the rushing offense. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Mark Robinson. See what he can do in his second year with this massive opportunity. Hope he can take it and shine with it. So good luck to him. We're all rooting for Mark Robinson. And maybe we get George Pickens involved. He has great games against the Browns. History shows that. He's a career highlight versus the Browns. So hopefully he can continue to get involved and we can get him the ball more in this game than we gave him the ball the last 3 games. Please, we need to get him involved. Seriously. I feel like anytime we get him the ball, we stand a good chance on offense. Same thing with Deontay.
Yeah, Pickens only caught the ball 6 times in 3 games.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Oof.
That's not good.
No. And as long as Watt and Highsmith stay healthy and stay fresh.
Yeah, that's another thing, too, is the usual edge rotation that they do. They hardly did it against the Packers.
No, I heard Marcus Golden only got 4 snaps.
Yeah, Nick Herbig had 2.
Why?
Yeah.
You got to keep your best defensive players fresh.
You're already sustaining enough injuries on defense. Like,
keep them fresh.
You buffed up the edge depth big time
for a reason.
Use it.
And let me tell you, during that last drive, we really could have used a fresh Watt and Highsmith. So for this Browns game, we're gonna need them to pretty much replicate exactly what they did week 2.
Yeah.
And maybe even then some. Yeah,
seriously.
Can they do it? Absolutely. But whether they do or not, time will tell. But I believe we all can agree that we stand a good chance as long as Highsmith and Watt are wrecking havoc, at least on defense. But we got the Steelers versus Browns this week. We got the Bengals versus the Ravens this Thursday night. So we got massive importance AFC North football all week. It's going to be must-see. It's going to be must-watch. It's going to be incredible football. It's going to be great. AFC North football, best division in the league. Nothing compares to it. Nothing compares to competitiveness and just how close the division is going to be. Any team that starts taking L's is going to have a hard time playing catch-up. So this is when every team is going to have to bring their air game, especially for our Pittsburgh Steelers. For the Browns, man, this is the time to step it up and just sweep the Browns, man. Just sweep the Browns. All we ask this week is just complete the simple tasks. Not asking for anything drastic. Just simple stuff you could have hit for weeks now. Hit that this week. You can walk away with a dub. You can sweep the Browns. Sweeping the Browns this year will be a massive dub. I will take that. I'm getting real. I don't want to get. I don't want the Browns to start winning against us. You know, I got real used to us sweeping them. So let's keep that reign going. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I think we'll call it a night, man. We'll call it a stream. So we appreciate every last one of you for joining us tonight on this Steelers versus Browns preview. As we discussed a lot about this team, man, a lot. The injuries, the Steelers versus Browns game, the offense, just a lot we talked about. It was a fun podcast, fun episode, man. So we appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. And as you guys know, we'll be live for the Steelers versus Browns game. So that's going to be an interesting watch. Can't wait to see most of you guys in the chat for that, just sharing our enjoyment and most importantly, our frustrations. Most commonly, our frustrations. But it's always a joy until the Steelers start playing like the Steelers. So,
yeah.
That's life as a Steelers fan, man. But we'll see you guys on Sunday, man. Otherwise, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy football, man. And you know what? Actually, I'll put one more poll in the chat for you guys. One more poll. Since it's AFC North related. Put one more in the chat for you. Who you guys, I don't want to say rooting for. Who do you guys think will win this Thursday night? Ravens or Bengals? Ravens or Bengals?
Ooh.
Honestly, I'm undecided. Who would you pick? Who would you pick?
Well, to knock the Ravens off their pedestal again, we would like the Bengals to win. But, see, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. If the Bengals lose, then they have every reason to fight back against us next week after the Browns.
Yes, they do.
But if the Bengals win, then they still go with some momentum, but at least we're going into the game, you know, a little more of, well, the Bengals, they still have something to fight for, but they're not desperate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm taking the Bengals. I'm I think the Ravens are overrated. I'm just going to say it.
See,
I think the Ravens...
Because say the Ravens lose this Thursday and the Steelers beat the Browns. I think if we win, we take first place because we have that win over Baltimore. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Holy fucking shit. Wow.
Actually, hold on.
Yeah, because
you got me.
Baltimore's 7-3, I think. 7-3? 7-3.
Oh, let me check the standings.
There's 7
because I know where you're going with. I think this is how it would turn out, folks. Give me a minute. So the standings are, Baltimore's 7-3. Steelers are 6-3.
Yeah.
Browns are 6-3. Bengals are 5-4.
Yeah.
The Bengals win, they will be 6-4. The Ravens will be
7-4.
7-4. If the Steelers win, they will be 7-3, which would be the top of the division.
Yes.
So, yes, if the Bengals beat the Ravens and the Steelers beat the Browns, the Steelers will be first place because they swept the Browns and they already beat the Ravens earlier this year.
Yeah.
And the Browns beat the Ravens and the Steelers swept the Browns. So, yes, the Steelers would have that advantage.
So the Bengals do us a solid on Thursday and beat the Ravens. That gives us even more motivation to go into Cleveland and sweep the Browns.
Exactly. So,
but even then, if the Ravens win, nonetheless, still Steelers, you got to do your job against Cleveland.
Because, well, first of all, the Bengals are 0-2 against the division.
Yeah.
The Browns are 2-2. We're 2-0. And the Ravens are 2-3. There's a good chance the Steelers could be 3-0. And the Browns and the Ravens could be 2-3 versus the division.
Yeah.
Again, we have the wins versus the Browns and the Ravens already. So as long as we beat the Browns and the Ravens lose, we have that tiebreaker. I believe. Yeah. So we would need the Ravens to lose. I was going to say because I know the Browns beat the Ravens and we beat the Ravens and then we would have swept the Browns. So we would have the division topping, but not the actual record topping. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we would still need the Bengals to beat the Ravens and us to beat the Browns.
Yeah.
So if that happens, folks, we are first place.
Based off how this team has performed, that would be freaking crazy.
That is the 2023 season in a nutshell.
That's
man.
the AFC North Division in a nutshell.
We're only halfway through the year, and this is when things get really interesting. So,
yeah.
Hey, guys. If you guys have already put your seatbelt on, you might as well now because it's going to be one crazier of a ride. One more bumpier of a ride, bro. So we're all here for it. We all can't wait for it, and I'm incredibly terrified to know how it's going to end. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it as a Steelers fan. I'm here for it as a football fan, and oddly, somehow, some way, it's worked in our favor all year. So maybe by some grace of the Lord above, it remains that way.
Yeah.
And more than one aspect for us. But otherwise, yeah. So we got that to look forward to. Ravens lose, and we beat the Browns. We're first place after Sunday.
Imagine that.
I don't know how, but it's likely. So fingers crossed that's how it happens, and it's very likely. So I'm not going to say go Bengals, but win, I guess.
Win and we'll see you next week.
Win, we'll see you next week. It's very much like the browns. Fuck you, but win, we'll see you next week. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Sunday, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And think about this, man. This is the last week we got before it hits the holidays. So make it a strong one. Enjoy it. And, yeah, see you guys for the game this Sunday, man.
Let's handle business on Sunday, man. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!
Holy shit. We would be first place, bro.
Yes, we would. Yes, we would.
Imagine that.
That is crazy.
Stan says, I think we're already a record-breaking team this year. I don't believe any teams have been 6-3 while being outgained every game. No, we're the only team in NFL history to be outgained every game and still have a winning record. The only team in NFL history.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's still making history, and I don't know if it's good history, but it's history.
It's history. It's history to him. It's history to him.
It's weird. It's weird, bro. I don't understand it.